Last fall, on October 3rd, Farm Week celebrated its 33rd anniversary. It appeared for the first time in 1977 on Mississippi Public Broadcasting. I think it's safe to say no one would have thought it would go on for this long. It's outlasted everything from Bonanza to Gunsmoke. For those of you who are not familiar with Farm Week, or for those who have watched for 33 years, here's a little background.
And welcome to Farm Week. I'm Bruce Johnson with the Cooperative Extension Service, and this week we explore two very interesting topics.
Agriculture was undergoing a time of great growth when the first Farm Week was aired on Monday, October 3rd, 1977. Mississippi legislature called on Mississippi Educational Television and the Mississippi State University Extension Service to develop a show. The purpose was to use television as a way to quickly communicate news and information to Mississippi's agricultural and forestry community. Bruce Johnson was Farm Week's first host.
It was disclosed last week that the Farm Bureau President, Alan Grant, led a delegation to Libya early in May to work out the sale of Libyan oil.
Mike Wyndham handled the commodity markets.
November soybeans closed the week at a slight increase, $6.91 a bushel Friday. And there's more good news. This time,
one of the most familiar faces to Farm Week viewers is that of Tyson Gare. Gare worked for Farm Week for 12 years, 10 of those as an anchor.
And I'm Tyson Gare. Welcome to this week's edition of Farm Week. In the news, snow, sleet, ice, and cold temperatures are taking their toll on Mississippi agriculture. It appears
the rumor that Johans might resign. This reporter first came to Farm Week in 1983. I went on to anchor the University of Georgia's agricultural news show for 2 years in the late 1980s. I returned to Farm Week as its managing editor in 1989.
Feed report. The number of cattle placed on feed during January was 1% under last year, a little negative in the market's eyes.
Van Zyverden is primarily a wholesale distributor, but they're also very interested.
Leighton Spann, the newest addition to the Farm Week anchor team, is no longer new. He's been with Farm Week since 1994, following 16 years in commercial news broadcasting. The newest member of the Farm Week crew is Amy Taylor. This University of Southern Mississippi graduate joined Farm Week in January 2007. Amy, I understand it was another record breaker.
Thank you, Artis. Yes, slightly more than $279,000 was bid in this year's sale. That money.
Farm Week is produced each week by the Mississippi State University Extension Service through the Office of Agricultural Communications. For 14 years, the studio portion of Farm Week was produced in the studios of Mississippi Public Broadcasting in Jackson. In October 1991, production moved to the University Television Center of Mississippi State University.
Good music, yes. Welcome to downtown Nashville, the Nashville Convention Center.
And the Corn Growers Classic. We're here at the National.
Technological advances have made it possible for Farm Week to move out of the studio. MSU's mobile satellite truck allows remote productions to take place from national agricultural meetings in major U.S. cities. The first live remote broadcast of Farm Week took place in 1993 from the Beltwide Cotton Conferences in New Orleans.
Canal Street, we're here on the second floor. It's a big night for Farm Week tonight. Our first live remote broadcast coming to you via the satellite truck of Mississippi State University, and we're just excited to be here. It's a big night for us, and it's a big meeting.
I'll tell you, Artis, it's really exciting. There are a lot of folks from all over the world, really, representing several countries, and the Mid-South is
in June of 2001, there was another Farm Week first. It marked the first Farm Week produced from a farm, the Billy Walker Farm at Sunnyside, northwest of Greenwood. Yes, pardon the pun, we were outstanding in our field for at least one day.
Hello, I'm Leighton Spann.
And I'm Artis Ford. Welcome to Farm Week once again, and here we are.
Farm Week's success is due to people working together. It takes the expertise of extension specialists and experiment station researchers. It also takes the diligence of many behind the scenes, whether they run a copy machine or a tape machine. Each job is important. The focus of Farm Week has changed through the years. More information is given now on land management, such as tree farming and creating wildlife habitat.
Because it looked horrible 23 years ago. There was 6-foot washes in here then. All of those are closed up. We found one little washout, which we're trying to get the timber crew to put some tops in to fill in that, but I mean, it's a beautiful piece of property now.
Crepe myrtles have been called the lilacs of the South. And for
Home
sure,
horticulture has increased dramatically in popularity. That's how Southern Gardening with Norman Winter came to be. It first aired in 1996 with Norman as its host.
If you're looking for a good vine for your fence or gazebo, then you need to consider the evergreen red wisteria.
14 years later, in 2010, Dr. Gary Bachman of the Mississippi State University Extension Service took over the Southern Gardening reins.
And flexible creations of nature with the solid and constructed forms from skilled hands. I'm Gary Bachman for Southern Gardening.
Farm Week.
Another way Farm Week has changed is the internet. If you have a television show, you have to have a website to go along with it. The Farm Week website first appeared in 2001. You can get contact information on news stories and events and watch Farm Week feature stories.
They're doing something a little different.
It's the feature stories that have kept Farm Week on the air after 30 years. The subjects are the ones who have invited us to visit and allowed us to share their experiences with the Farm Week audience. Many have said if appearing on Farm Week will help someone else, they will do it.
I have told everybody I run into my expense, no telling how many times. And just for the fact that I like to see these people get there, they raise the timber and everything, I'd like to see them get paid for it.
The biggest reason Farm Week is on the air is you, the viewer. If no one watched, Farm Week would not be on the air. Be sure to tell us what you like and what you don't like. It's one way of making sure Farm Week remains something worth watching.
I'm Leighton Spann. Thank you for being with us tonight.
I'm Artis Ford. We'll see you next week. And you can watch this story again on our Farm Week website, farmweek.msucares.com. You can also find us on YouTube. Look for the search box, type in Farm Week as one word with quotation marks, and you will find us. So, Leighton, you've been here 17 years. 17
Mid-July
years
will mark 17. Hard to believe. Man.
Southern Gardening will be 15 years old this year, this fall. It is hard to believe, but you know, we like to have real people on. I think that's why Farm Week has still made it, because we have people out there that are doing things, and that means something if you're also out there doing that same thing as well.